10 KFAB.
Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest's #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, and across the country via Schrock Desk. This is Compute This.
Alrighty, folks, welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. The numbers to join us on the program today: you call in, you ask a question, make a comment. We will put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Those numbers are 888-250-2091. 888-250-2091. We have a pretty crazy show for you today, but first, guys, if you missed last week's program, you missed a lot. Last week on the show, we told you about the Mart joining Best Buy and closing all their showrooms. They do have multiples. It's not just they're in other places other than Omaha. They're in Des Moines. They're in the Kansas City metro area. So they shut all their showrooms down as well. There is no big box store. Does Walmart still have laptops out in their electronics section? They do? Okay. So you could go to Walmart maybe and buy an Acer if you were going to buy something, if they have any left in stock. But, Best Buy, Walmart, all those options are gone now. A new bug in Windows 10 last week was actually blowing up the internet connections of people using home VPN systems to protect their identity and information and surfing information. So we told you about the patch that Microsoft was releasing for that. There was a story about new faster-than-light communication, which was pretty crazy. We covered that one. Also, why did Google go offline for a couple hours? About a week and a half ago. So we told you all about those things. If you want to hear about those stories, you can listen to last week's show on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations or on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. Just click on Radio Show. Coming up on the program today, folks, we got another loaded show for you. Every week we're trying to talk a little bit less about coronavirus. We're trying to follow that curve, right? And we're going to come down on the other side of this thing, and I hope I never hear coronavirus again. But if coronavirus wasn't bad enough, right, there's now COVID-19 themed malware that is infecting computers and destroying your hard drive. So that's fun, just for kicks. It has no criminal intent aside from just erasing all of your information. So yeah, that's great. Zoom bombing. Have you heard about this? Zoom bombing? Zoom is the video conferencing software that everyone's using now, if you can find a webcam anywhere to use it with. And Zoom bombing is unannounced people dropping in on your Zoom conversation. It's really happening. We're going to tell you what to watch out for on the program today. Speaking of video conferencing and webcams, you can't find one anywhere right now. We're getting 2 to 3 calls a day in the service centers from people looking for webcams because either you have, okay, let me just put it this way. If you are working from home and you are just using the junky little laptop camera that's in the lid of your laptop and somebody else in the video conference has a full HD webcam running, you look like garbage. And this is one of the things I was talking to my guys about, my managers at Schrock. We do a weekly Skype meeting. Every Monday, we all get together on Skype, and we talk about what the week that's gone by, the week that's coming up, what we should look out for, if anybody encountered anything that we could share tips and tricks between the shops. Just a general, keeping everyone on the same page meeting. We use Skype to do that. And I've had to teach some of my younger guys, it's like, the way you handle yourself in front of a webcam when you're in a webcam environment, when you're in a virtual meeting, it's important the way you handle things, the facial expressions that you use, when other people are talking, the fact that you're looking at the webcam. That's the new looking someone in the eye when they're talking. So if you're watching right now on Facebook, we are live, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, and I'm talking to you, and I'm looking down at the screen while you're talking, or I'm over here, or I'm looking over here, or I'm looking really bored like this. I might be listening. I mean, this might be my Karen face. But that's just what it is, right? My wife and I were having a discussion about that term. She thinks I don't know what that quite means. But anyway, how you handle yourself on that webcam is important, but the problem right now is you can't even find a webcam. Literally, we get 2 or 3 calls a day looking for webcams. I found 5 webcams in the underbelly fold of China somewhere that are literally shipping to us via the Yun Express. I've never even heard of Yun Express. At first I thought it said Yum Express. I'm like, what is the Yum Express? And I said, oh, they give me a tracking number. So I Googled Yun Express and I put the tracking number in because they give me a delivery date of April 8th to the 18th. And I'm like, that's a pretty wide delivery date. So I said, maybe if I go to their website, I'll get better tracking information. So I go to yunexpress.com, I guess. I don't know. I Googled it. And I put in the tracking number and it said, label's been created. I'm like, this is like the USPS version of, yeah, it's in the mail. That's every old eBayer's trick where you click create a label and eBay marks it as shipped. So you meet your shipping deadline, yet that guy doesn't go to the store to actually put it in the mail for a week, right? That's what's happening, I think, with the Yun Express. And so this is obviously not cutting the mustard. We have customers that are using junky webcams. They're being forced to work from home. They look like garbage on their video chats. And some of these people are small business owners. Some of these people, impression and how you look on the camera. This is a whole new world, just like it was a new world for my guys when we were doing the Skype meetings. This is a whole new world to people. I had to explain to these kids, if you look disinterested on camera, I am going to interpret that as you being disinterested in what I have to say. Don't look disinterested while you're on the camera. If you are disinterested, treat it the same way as if I was talking to you in person and you were really disinterested. You would laugh at my jokes. You would nod and say, yep, very, very wise, Mr. Schrock. Excellent. Yes, I completely agree and understand. And then when I leave, you would laugh behind my back. Do the same thing, but just make sure the camera's off. Get a camera with a light on it. That helps. Treat it that way. And so literally there's a story out this week. There's a camera company, and I love these cameras. We use them in the service centers. They're called Wyze cams, W-Y-Z-E. And they are taking the Wyze cams, and the company put out a new firmware update that allows you to make your Wyze cam a webcam. And Wyze cams, you can get Wyze cams for $40 right now. The webcams that I had to buy via the Yun Express run for $150. The Wyze cameras are full HD. This is huge, right? So we've ordered in, and we can still order Wyze cams. And so we went ahead and ordered 4 in to give it a shot to try it out. And we're going to talk about that on the show. You have to do a bunch of software reprogramming and load a new firmware set and get a special cable that you have to buy. But once you get all the stuff together, we're actually going to assemble packages of these cameras. We're going to test one, and if it works, we're going to put them up on the website for sale at SchrockInnovations.com. All right, 888-250-2091. That's the number to join us on the program. Speaking of the website over at SchrockInnovations.com, today, as in Sunday, April 5th, until 5 p.m., you can purchase a preventative maintenance checkup certificate for almost half off. On the 6th, the sale is over. So Monday, the sale ends. And if you go to the website on the 6th, the price will be back up to the normal $90. So there's a couple things here, guys. Number one, if you are somebody who knows the importance of coming in for preventative maintenance, for example, we try to do everything that we can do to monitor your computer within expectations of privacy. So for example, Christy K had her computer into one of the service centers here. I'm trying to see if it tells me which one. It doesn't tell me which one right off the top, but I can find out. But Christy was in one of our service centers with her computer, and when she came in, we installed a free program called Drive Advisor. And what Drive Advisor does is it monitors the health of your computer's hard drive. And when your hard drive goes bad, if you're not a Schrock customer, if you've never been into our service center before, it will just send you an email. And we don't get an alert. We don't, it doesn't say, call John Smith in New York, his hard drive is bad. That's stupid. Why would we do that? But if you're somebody who's been on our bench before, that we have an established customer relationship with, then we get an alert too, because sometimes, the system's going to automatically send you an email that your hard drive has dropped, Christy, from 100% down to 52% health in one shot. Further, I can see that you have a Hewlett-Packard laptop from our records when you had the computer in the shop. I can also see you have a mechanical hard drive. Therefore, in true Sherlock Holmes fashion, I can surmise that you have a cat, and the cat was on its way to the litter box. The litter box is on the second floor of the house. As the cat ran to the litter box, it bumped the cable of your laptop, which was residing on the arm of your couch. You had to make a sudden choice. You were going to catch the glass of Diet Pepsi or the laptop. You chose the Diet Pepsi. The laptop crashed to the floor, landing on the opposite side of the laptop than the power cord, and the resulting impact on the floor made the hard drive go clunk, and now your computer is going to die if you don't get it in so we can replace the hard drive for you. If Christy is working from home in Lincoln, she has a problem. Now, if Christy got the Drive Advisor email, the alert was sent out yesterday at 11:36 p.m. I got that email too. And Christy, this morning, the Lincoln Service Center will be calling you to make sure that you got the email when we open at noon, because that's what we do. We are here to make sure our customers' technology, especially right now, works. I cannot tell you how many people came into the service center and had stupid things. So one gentleman came in, his computer was blown up, and he says, I need it fixed, obviously, and our traffic is down, obviously. People are staying home if they don't need to come out, which means our bench is completely wide open right now, guys. I mean, well, not completely. The Omaha Service Center is a little busy. Lincoln's got like 5 on the bench. Papillion's down to like 4 or 5 on the bench. So we have work to do, but if you're looking to come in for a maintenance checkup, this is a great time to do it. You get excellent service and turnaround time. But this gentleman didn't have time for that. His computer was down, and he's working from home. And he literally comes in and says, I need this fixed by tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. or I am going to lose my job. This is the thing that a lot of people don't realize. When companies send their employees home, especially when productivity does suffer. Anyone who says they're just as productive at home doesn't have kids. So, when you go home to work from home, there are distractions. It's not the same environment as at work, number one. Number two, there's less things for businesses to do right now. We have a whole list of those projects that we've been putting off forever that, we really have like 1,000 hard drives on the floor that we need to add to the hard drive database. It's not a fun job and nobody wants to do it. But if the choice is getting paid and doing that or not getting paid, people are going to do it. That's the kind of survival mode that businesses are in right now. And honestly, you don't need everybody. And so if one guy can't work from home, I'm sorry to say, but literally that could be the case. If your computer goes down and you can't report for work on schedule, because businesses like me, business owners, we're paranoid about people working from home. I just know that when people are working from home, especially parents who are expected to now be teachers as well, I'm not getting my full value for paying these people. And I get that. And you know what? Right now, we're going to give a little grace on that. But I'm not every business owner. There are some business owners out there that are actually, there's stories this week about business owners installing monitoring software on employees' home computers so they can track when they're working. Which, wow, I think I got bigger things to worry about. But okay, so the bottom line is he chose to buy a new computer rather than take the chance that we would have to order a part to fix his old computer. He bought a brand new computer because we had them in stock and he could take it home that minute, get it set up, and be guaranteed to be at work at 8 a.m. on Monday morning. That is the world we are living in right now. It is an upside down, backwards, bizarro world. But you know what? I'm not going to be negative about it. Let me tell you something positive about it today. We are incredibly blessed in the state of Nebraska and in the state of Iowa with political leadership that is getting this right. For example, Governor Ricketts is taking his lead from the Nebraska Med Center. The place where they send people with Ebola and other really, really scary, nasty diseases, and they handle them like professionals. I mean, when's the last time you heard about an Ebola leak in Omaha? Uh-oh, that Ebola stuff got out. That is who he is taking his cues from. He's not taking it from a national doctor on TV giving a daily press briefing that's talking about the entire United States as a whole, when the entire United States is not a whole when it comes to this virus. What is happening in Nebraska is different than what is happening in Iowa and South Dakota and Kansas and New York. And as a result, there are 9 states in the United States right now that are not actively hassling their residents when they leave the house. Now, granted, this is like the Busybodies Anonymous Club, like dream come true. Just before the show, Emily, my producer, was telling me how someone overheard a conversation at a gas station she was having with the gas station attendant, thought that this person thought that she said she had a fever, and they followed her around taking pictures of her car because they thought she had a fever. I mean, people are really scared right now, and some people are really nutso right now. And when people get scared and people get nutso, people do and say silly, stupid things. So right now, to have political leadership that is so on target, Nebraska is not going to fall as deep into this pit of despair as every other state is. And I am truly thankful for that. I read stories on Facebook all the time about businesses that they literally don't know how they're going to come back. And I'm like, this has been rough, guys. It's been really rough. But, we're still here. We're very lucky to have a very loyal customer base who, when I say, please go buy your maintenance certificates, because you're going to come in the next 6 months anyway, and we could really use the revenue now so I can keep paying my people that are working from home, that maybe not working as much because they're also teaching their kids, but I can keep paying them and keep everybody on the payroll and retain our talent, retain our people. And I'm thinking, wow, this is bad, but come on, is it that bad? And the answer is, in other places, yeah, it is way, way worse than Nebraska. Why is it so much better in Nebraska? Do we have superhuman antibodies that crush everything? Yes, all your base are belong to us. We beat it all. Is that what it is? No. We had really good political leadership. We closed the schools down before almost any other state did. We issued keep your distance guidance before Dr. Fauci did in the national scheme of things. We closed non-essential businesses, for example, social businesses, restaurants, things like that. And I know for restaurants right now, this is a really sore subject. Trust me, I am getting so fat eating all your takeout food. I'm eating out every chance I get because I'm trying to help other local businesses. But we closed them down early. We limited social interaction way early. When everyone else in the media was saying, don't go out and hoard food, Governor Ricketts was saying, make sure you have a couple weeks of food on hand, just in case. And this is one of the things that you realize, when you're a young person in Nebraska, you don't realize that the slow and steady pace that is personified by people like Tom Osborne, who don't get riled up, who don't get excited, who don't make a big splash. They just come to work. They've got these things called morals. They do their thing. They go home. They get up. They do it again. That seems really boring to young kids. But in a situation like this, you realize all of a sudden that that is exactly the kind of leadership that keeps people safe. Now, because of all those things that were done, Nebraska right now, as of 2 days ago, has 3 times the number of ventilators and hospital beds and ICU capability than we need. Because we are prepared. We started earlier than everybody else. And as a result, a lot of businesses like my business can remain open to make sure that guy who needs a laptop or he loses his job on Monday gets a laptop. My business is still open so that I can figure out some backwards way to hacktivate what is a security camera to turn it into an HD webcam so you look good on a Zoom conference before you get bombed. That's the kind of innovation that business owners will do if you give them a chance to do it. And that's what Governor Ricketts and the unicameral and UNMC and everybody in the whole chain of command has done for the state of Nebraska. And I'm thankful for it. And it's a big positive thing. 888-250-2091. All right, so we're going to take a quick break here, get the show started. JD and Bob, your calls coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations Data Recovery Lab saves the data the other guys can't. The next time your hard drive, camera card, or flash drive fails, let Schrock get your data back. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute this pro tip 843. Of all computer failures, the scariest and most expensive is the hard drive. But there are some steps you can take to save money and save your data before it's too late. Detecting failures early is important, so install a free utility like Drive Advisor from driveadvisor.com to monitor your hard drive's health and receive warnings when there's a problem. But most of all, hard drive failures happen slowly, so early detection is key to reducing the repair bill. Second, if your hard drive makes any unusual noises, immediately turn off your computer and do not turn it on again. These issues are physical problems, and the more you try to use it, the worse the damage becomes. Remember that most computer repair shops do not have the specialized equipment needed to recover data from a failed drive. Never open your drive or allow anyone else to do so. Opened drives always cost more to recover. Schrock does not charge for data recovery evaluations and quotes, so let the local pros look at your drive before you make any recovery decisions. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. One thing I did not mention in the show opening that I was supposed to is that Microsoft any day now is going to push out upgrade version 2004. This is an upgrade for your Windows 10 operating system. It is not a patch or an update. It's not like the weekly, like, oh, let me just restart your computer for a second. This is a whole new operating system. Microsoft does this every 6 months. They name the versions by the month and the year that they're coming out. This is version 2004. Year 2020, month 4, April. It is month 4 of 2020. Therefore, Microsoft is going to force upgrade everyone's computer in the world when guys like the gentleman who came in on last Sunday with a busted computer said, I need this up and running by Monday or I lose my job. 20% of the computers that get hit with this update are going to fail. They're going to have some kind of a problem ranging from complete data loss all the way up to computer won't reboot to the update just keeps installing over and over and over again and it never finishes. We make a product called Safe Upgrade that takes that free update from Microsoft and then safely installs it on your computer, just like our technicians would do on the bench. We came up with Safe Upgrade a couple years ago because it seems to hit the same people every time. That they have a problem and it blows up the computer and then it doesn't work and then they have to come in for a $200 repair. And it started to get really old and people were getting angry and the only one in the room to get angry with, the closest target was us. And so we said we have to do something. Our customers are upset. They're upset with us and they know it's not our fault deep down, but they're still upset about it. So let's do something. So we created Safe Upgrade. And now 2 years later, this is looking like a Thorstradamus moment because Safe Upgrade is a do-it-yourself at home, all support provided over the Schrock desk if you need it, solution to install this 20% failure patch on your computer. And right now you can purchase a copy of Safe Upgrade. You need to get one copy for each computer that you plan to update. We don't know when this is going to come down. Last time it has come down toward the end of the month, but I shy away from saying that because Microsoft could pull the trigger on this anytime during the month, or like the last time they could put it off till next month, but they name the update 4 of 20 because they want to release it this month. And if you're Microsoft, your position is that this update actually improves the performance of the computer. Therefore, anyone working from home would welcome this update. And I'm just saying at this point, this is probably not the smart time to do these big updates, but we don't control that. So the best thing that we can do is make sure that you're prepared and that it installs appropriately. The other thing is, guys, again, there are hundreds and hundreds of you that have purchased Safe Upgrade in the past. The majority of you have already purchased your Safe Upgrades for this time around. Some of you have added computers to your household. Maybe before you only had one and now the kids are using that for school and you added another computer so that you could work from home. Make sure you get a copy for each computer that you plan on upgrading or that the kids are using for school, for example. You can get these at SchrockInnovations.com. You click on Shop and then Specials. They're on the same page as the maintenance certificate. So if you're going to go there to get a maintenance certificate, I would recommend strongly you throw a couple Safe Upgrades in the cart. Not only does it ensure that your computer avoids a repair bill. But right now it ensures that you don't have to leave the house with the computer to get it repaired or call us for a contactless pickup and drop off. Yes, we're doing that for free right now. So, all the service centers are still open. We are observing social distancing. We have marks on the floor, the whole bit. We have the back rooms roped off because once in a while we get a wandering customer that comes into the back. But everything is roped off and set up nicely and everything so that everyone is safe. But we still would prefer that you get it done efficiently at home, especially right now. And the way to do that is with Safe Upgrade. It's $50 per copy. And again, these are the certificates that you're buying online and the copies of Safe Upgrade. That is what is allowing me to keep my people on staff, to keep them paid, to keep their families taken care of. That's reducing the unemployment rate. That is part of one of the reasons why Nebraska is going to pull out of this really quickly. Because let me tell you something. Other states out there that haven't done this kind of stuff, you know what's going to happen after coronavirus goes by? I will guarantee you there's going to be massive tax increases on everything. Sales taxes, use taxes, motor taxes, all the taxes are going to go up because money doesn't grow on trees and states have a constitutional requirement in most cases to balance their budget. So if the state spends a whole bunch of extra money, that's got to come from somewhere. So programs are going to get cut, taxes are going to go up, hiring freezes are going to go into place. This is going to be with us financially for a while, which is, again, one of the reasons why I'm so happy to be in Nebraska right now. 888-250-2091. JD, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Hi, Thor. Thank you. I have a Asus laptop that I noticed about between 1 and 2 weeks ago that it was not going to sleep anymore. And I know nobody in my household changed the power settings, and
Gotcha.
I did go into the power settings and changed it, just to a minute, just to test it out, close out all applications, and it just won't go to sleep anymore. Any idea what that is?
Well, there could be a few things. So, I have a daughter that does that. This morning, she was waking up when I was leaving, and it was way too early for her to be up. Last night, my son didn't want to go to sleep, and unfortunately, just like your computer, you can't really club them like a baby seal. You gotta find a more nuanced. Right. If you have kids, you've been there, right? You're like, just would you please, for the love of all things holy, go to sleep. And I can imagine with your Acer, you're doing a similar thing right now. So there's a couple things. Exactly. There's something keeping the Acer awake. And it's not a milk and cookies thing. So basically, there's something that's going on the computer that is causing the computer to reset that time clock. So, for example, this is going to sound really weird because I'm sure you've cleaned everything in sight a million times over. Make sure the trackpad is clean, and that there's no fuzzies or like a cat hair or something stuck in the trackpad, because that can basically simulate a touch on the touchpad.
Okay.
And that will wake the computer back up. Make sure that you already checked the power management functions. Acers are known for having touchpad and keyboard issues. They're also known.
They did actually Asus, A-S-U-S.
Oh, Asus. Oh, perfect. Okay, so that's a whole different ballgame. Okay, I'm like, how do I politely say that Acers are not? Well, I can't politely say that. I'm glad you're not using an Acer. Let's put it that way. So Asus laptops, their touchpads are very sensitive. So if there's anything on that touchpad that is tapping or touching or simulating a tap or a touch, just give it a squirt with just a little bit of Windex and just wipe it real good just to make sure it's real clean. The other thing is Asus laptops do get firmware updates. And so there could be an update to the firmware that came down at some point automatically or through Windows Update even. They're doing firmware updates through Windows Update now. If that's not bad enough, we'll talk about that during the Aftershock. But make sure that if you go to asus.com, you can go to support and type in either the serial number or the model number of your laptop, and you can check and see if there's a firmware update available for your computer, especially one that would solve a potential power-related issue. They won't call it sleep-related, they'll call it a power-related issue. And then if you install that, a lot of times that'll take care of it. But those are the two telltale things. There's got to be something physical going on, or something, it's either software or it's physical. And so, which, if anyone who's worked on computers knows that's always the case. But in this case, it's physical, like you need to clean it, or there's something from a programmatic sense that's firing off and causing that computer to stay awake. There are some more advanced troubleshooting things that we can go through, like turning off all programs that start up with the computer. That would be the next step to go to after this, to see if there's maybe a program that's causing the computer to stay awake, and then we would wait for it to go to sleep. I would probably change the sleep setting to super short just to test, and then turn one program back on, and then turn another one back on until we find the program that is causing the problem. That's going to take a lot more time than I have on the air to do it. take a whole day in the service center. But that's exactly what we would do next. So first, try cleaning it. Second, look for a firmware update. And third, if either both of those things are good to go, the third thing is to make sure that there's got to be a program causing it. So we turn off all extra programs in the task manager, and then we turn them back on one at a time after a restart to see which program is causing the problem.
All right. Thanks, Thor.
All right. Thank you, JD. I appreciate the call. All right. 888-250-2091. Got to take a break. When we come back from the break, coronavirus malware blowing up computers' hard drives. Yes, why not? So now your computer can get the coronavirus. That would have been a meme last week. Did your computer get the coronavirus? Oh, yeah, now there is one. We'll tell you all about it and how to keep yourself safe coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed semantic endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip 578. Technology is constantly changing, so how can you tell when the time has come to recycle your old outdated computer and invest in a new one? Experts have rules of thumb and formulas, but Schrock believes the answer is simple. You should replace your old computer when it can no longer do the things you need in a secure way. For example, you should not be using operating systems like Windows XP or Vista because they're no longer maintained by Microsoft and they're not secure. And if your computer cannot run Windows 10, it's probably time to begin saving for a replacement. If your existing computer requires a repair and that cost is 50% or more of the cost of a new computer, it might be time to consider a replacement. But keep in mind, additional costs like data transfers and important software you have to upgrade like genealogy software or Quicken. And also keep in mind that modern computers are engineered to last 18 months for a normal user. And don't worry, you are considered a normal user. Schrock modular PCs and solid-state laptops are specifically designed to last 4 to 6 years for that same normal user, saving your family money and time. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Kathleen Maloney. Coronavirus cases in the U.S. now over 300,000.
This will be probably the toughest week between this week and next week.
President Trump predicting many more deaths. The pandemic changing holy observances around the world. On Palm Sunday, churches that are usually packed with worshipers stand empty, and religious institutions are getting creative about seeking donations.
The Archdiocese of Newark, New Jersey set up an online GoFundMe donation page where anyone can contribute to specific parishes or to a more general Parishes in Need fund. And the Archdiocese of Chicago has an online donation page with links to its Universal Offertory Program and Coronavirus Emergency Fund.
Fox's Sal Giangrasso. At the Vatican, Pope Francis celebrating Palm Sunday Mass without the public. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Mostly sunny to partly cloudy today with temperatures on the rise. Highs this afternoon look to top out in the upper 50s and lower 60s. It will be a bit breezier. We could see winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Overnight lows in the upper 40s, highs on Monday in the lower 70s. With Omaha's most accurate forecast, I'm 6 News First Alert meteorologist Mallory Schnell on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Alrighty, folks. Rolling through this brave new world of ours. See that literary reference right there? That's the kind of highbrow stuff you get here on Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Schrock Innovations is currently the largest computer repair company open in Nebraska or Iowa. And we're not even in Iowa yet. However, I'm pleased to report construction has begun off of 95th and University in West Des Moines on our brand new service center. They have gutted the bay. They cut a huge hole in the roof and sucked it. These pictures are all on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. There was a restaurant in there before, and it had this beautifully huge hood, like a hood like you put over a stove or ovens. And they, like, I don't know how they're going to get that out of here. Well, you know how they got it out? They cut a giant hole in the roof and lifted it out with a crane. I'm like, these people mean business. And they're like, well, yeah, because of the whole coronavirus thing, we can still do construction because we can isolate. We can have one guy in here working. So your place will be ready in 45 days. And there's not really much else to do. So we're just going to get cracking on it. And if we get it done in 45 days, I know you don't have to necessarily move in till August, but if you wanted to start moving stuff in and getting set up, you could do that. And I'm thinking, what a godsend this is. Because if this thing, heaven forbid, is still lingering around 45 days from now, that gives me like isolated jobs I can send my employees on to do, where they can go work by themselves and set up furniture and wire things and stuff like that. So it was just amazing stuff happening. If you look hard enough, there are amazing stories of small businesses finding ways to make things happen. And that's one of the things. It's not a small business, but one of these things that's being made happening out here is this COVID-19 malware. So as if the biological version isn't bad enough, COVID-19.exe infects your computer in one of two infection stages. In the first stage, it just pops up this annoying window on your screen that you can't close because the malware has also disabled the task manager. It's similar stuff to what happens when you get that giant pop-up on the screen. Gary Saddlemeyer calls me from his office at the studio here. And in the background, like I see it's Gary on the phone, and I answer him like, hello. And I hear, do not turn off your computer. And I'm like, what is that? Like, Gary's got the pop-up window that took over the whole screen and is talking to him. And he's shouting over like, Thor, I don't know what. And I'm like, Gary, Alt F4, Alt F4, close the window. And he did. And he's like, whoo, that was close. So you think I should run a full scan? I'm like, well, it never hurts to run a full security scan, but you go to town. We don't handle your security at the studio, so hopefully they've got it under control. But this particular virus throws a pop-up on the screen, and while you're trying to figure out what this pop-up window is and how to get rid of it, in the background, it is rewriting a portion of your hard drive called the master boot record. Without getting too technical, when you turn your computer on, the master boot record tells your computer where to go to boot. Without the master boot record, your computer will not boot. Number one cause of new computers coming into the Omaha Service Center this week, won't boot. This COVID-19 malware is asymptomatic. You don't know you have it, especially if you don't have semantic endpoint, until you begin exhibiting symptoms. And by then, it could have passed its way to all the electronic devices in your house already. Yeah, it's exactly the same as COVID-19. And then once you get it, instead of your computer doesn't have lungs to crystallize, right? So instead, it just goes for your data, and it cuts it off at the source by rewriting the master boot record. And then when you turn your computer on, your files are all still there, guys. All your stuff is okay. You just can't get to it because the computer won't boot. So some people, when their computer won't boot, they might decide to try to run the recovery partition. Keep in mind, if you run the recovery partition, you erase all of your data. So this virus isn't actually erasing your data, but it's going to do things that lead you to erase your own data. So if your computer suddenly will not boot this week, don't try to run the recovery partition. Bring it into the shop. We can back up all the information off the drive. We can try to do a repair in place where we rebuild. We can rebuild the master boot record, and then everything is fine. And then you're not like the guy, Monday morning, you're back up and running again, right? So we can do this for you in the service centers. We do have open bench spots right now. And I don't, a lot of times I'll tell you when we're really full, but notice I don't really say, wow, guys, the bench is pretty empty right now. We could sure use your work. Right now, guys, people aren't going out if they don't need to, which is wise for a lot of people. And I'm not faulting anybody. We can do our job safely where we're at. We have a 2,500 square foot service center, and we have 2 to 3 people in the entire building, 4 at most if you count the customer who's on the other side of ropes. So we're doing everything as safely as we can. For those people who can't come out because you have a compromised immune system or there's some other concern, or you're just doing your part, you're staying home and doing your part, We will do contactless pickup and drop off for you. You can leave your computer outside your front door. We will come and we'll call you when we're like coming up, right? When we're driving up your block. So you can put your computer outside. Don't just put it outside when you call us and then leave it out there. That wouldn't be wise. But you can put it outside, and then you can watch us through the doors. We pick it up and take it with us. And then we'll do the same. When we drop it off, we'll drop it off outside the door. We can take care of, there's no paperwork to sign right now or anything like that. So we're doing everything we can to continue to help you and keep you as safe as possible. And I know right now, if this thing hits your computer, the temptation will be to run that recovery partition. But I'm telling you, you're going to lose all of your data if you do that. And you're going to spend an entire day setting your computer up again. We can avoid all of that for you in the service center, so give us the shot to do that. 888-250-2091. Also, check out SchrockInnovations.com. Click on Shop and click on Specials. Today is the final day to purchase a preventative maintenance checkup certificate. Those certificates entitle you to a maintenance checkup on your computer anytime in the next 6 months. So you have plenty of time to use it. You don't have to rush out and do it now. However, if you have one of these certificates and you want to get your computer maintenance, now would be an excellent time to do it. Our turnaround times are phenomenal right now. So if you get that into the service center, we can get that maintenance fixed up, checked out, and back out to you again, sanitized and clean, usually within 1 to 2 days right now. So it's pretty quick stuff. Also, Safe Upgrade is the Microsoft update is coming. So if you're going to go take a look at those maintenance certificates on the website, also make sure you grab a copy of Safe Upgrade while you're there. It goes to help our employees stay on the job and also provides you with an at-home way to install the latest update coming down from Microsoft any day now for your Windows operating system. 888-250-2091. Bob, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Okay, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay, because I've been waiting so long, my battery keeps trying to go down.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I called the Omaha Service Center on Saturday and had left a message, and no one called me back. My second thing is, I'm an iMac person, all right?
Okay.
And my screen keeps going black. The only way to get the screen back is to shut it down and start all over again. Is something wrong with my machine, or is there a bug or something going on, and what do you recommend I do?
Sure, Bob. Thank you for the call, and I apologize that no one got back to you yesterday. As you might imagine, one of our Omaha front desk is pregnant, and so she is very aware of the coronavirus situation right now. So she's kind of touch and go as far as coming in and helping. The guys are doing their best to keep up on that kind of stuff, but we're trying to send extra help over to Omaha to make sure that they return voicemails and things like that. So I'm sure you'll get a call back today, Bob. But in the meantime, when your iMac's picture goes down like that, one of two things is happening. Either the entire computer is locking up and dropping the signal to the screen, like your video card isn't working, or the screen itself is failing. So the way we would so yes, it's probably a hardware problem. There are no bugs going around in Macs right now that cause the screen just to go black for no reason. Of course, if you have your power set to black the screen after so much inactivity, but I'm sure you've thought of that. So what we would do is we would hook your Mac up to an external monitor. And then with the iMac hooked up to another monitor, that will allow us, if the external monitor also goes black, now we know that it's not the screen in your Mac, that it's the graphics card that is part of the main board in the iMac. That's the worst case scenario. That's possibly new iMac territory. The second thing that we'd want to test, of course, is the power supply. If the power supply is failing, it could not be providing enough juice to the motherboard, causing it to fail. So that would be a much better outcome because power supplies are a lot cheaper than main boards. The third thing is if it's the screen, that's also a pretty expensive fix on an iMac, unfortunately, but then we'll be able to diagnose that with an external screen. If you use the computer for work and you can't go without it while we get a screen in, we can always get you an external monitor to hook up to it so you have a screen that you can use in the meantime, Bob. So definitely, that is one that we definitely need to see in the service center to diagnose properly. So you could arrange for a contactless pickup. I know you called earlier and you didn't get a call back. I'm sorry about that. But we'll get you a call back here today. But if you need us to come pick it up, we can come and pick it up for you. Otherwise, if you want to bring it into the service center, we're open Saturday from 10 to 8 and Sunday from noon to 5. We're open all the other days of the week, too, from 10 to 8. But if you were going to bring it in so we can take a look at it right away, we can get it in anytime in those hours, and we're happy to get it looked at for you. Thank you very much for the call, Bob, and we do have you in the drawing as well. 888-250-2091. Real quick, before we jump into break here, we talked about the coronavirus thing. Have you heard about what Zoom bombing? Have you heard about that in the news? So Zoom bombing. Zoom is the product that everybody's been using. And last week in the Aftershock, we said, why isn't anybody Skyping? Why don't you hear about Skyping? You hear about Zooming. But when did we stop Skyping and start Zooming? And until you actually use Zoom and you realize how stupid easy, it's as easy to use as the Schrock desk. It is so easy to use. You get a link, you click the link, you install the little thing, and then boom, you're in video conference. So what's happening is the teachers and people that are arranging these meetings are sending out links to all of the people that are supposed to be in the meeting. Well, bulletin boards have cropped up on the internet, number one, that people are, like students, for example, are posting a link to their teacher's session. And then anyone on the internet can bomb that session. All you need is the link to join. There's no password. So you click the link, and all of a sudden, you could have a naked guy on the screen in front of all the kids. Literally, that's happened. You could have, somebody playing, somebody rickrolling, playing music on there. You could have somebody just jumping in and screaming and yelling and shouting profanities. There's been examples of photobombing corporate meetings, things like that. So one thing to watch out for is if you're going to do a Zoom meeting, make sure that when you're inviting people in the Zoom meeting, number one, if the Zoom meeting gets bombed, somebody probably posted the link somewhere else. However, it was released last week that there is a programmatic issue with Zoom where the links that they generate for their meetings are sequential. So what that means is you can actually, and you create a meeting yourself, and the next number up you can guarantee is going to be a meeting, and the next number down is going to be a meeting. So some kind of enterprising hacker dude could create a program that basically just tries all the links until they find a meeting. And unfortunately, some of these meetings are also archived on Zoom. That's an option that you can pick. It doesn't do it by default, but there have been some companies that have chosen to archive the video of their meetings on Zoom, and those archives are publicly viewable. So if you're discussing anything that's private, like financial statements, things like that, or you're doing a counseling session with a counselor over Zoom, you really don't want to, if you're running that session, don't archive it because it's publicly accessible and you don't want that to happen. 888-250-2091. You to hang on the line. We've got to take a quick break. We'll have your call coming up next on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This Pro Tip 178. Those little life-saving surge protector strips are vital to your computer's health and should be used whenever possible, even for laptops. As computers get smaller and more powerful, they're also becoming more sensitive to dirty power, and your power is a lot dirtier than you might think. Even if you have a whole home surge protection, most power surges are generated within your own home. If you've ever vacuumed and seen the lights get dimmer and brighter, you created a surge. Surge protectors can only absorb so much energy measured in joules. When that capacity is exhausted, your surge protector becomes a glorified extension cord and needs to be replaced. You should always look for surge protectors that give audible alerts when they're no longer able to protect your equipment. Schrock recommends these because the lights on most strips are just power lights and they don't tell you when it's time to replace the unit. If in doubt, replace your surge protectors annually to keep your expensive TVs, computers, and other electronic equipment safe. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, final segment of the show. Man, that hour flew by fast. Sorry it was so quick, but the good news is I've got all kinds of really crazy anecdotal stories and things that I can share with you during the Aftershock today. Also, I need some feedback from you guys. This month is typically the month that we do our ultimate upgrade sale. There are some logistical problems doing a really inexpensive computer right now. Also, there is this... all these big box stores are canceling all their sales. Have you heard about this? Like, there's no sales, there's no clearance at Target right now. They don't want you to come in, and so they're not going to price things aggressively to drive people into the store. It's the complete opposite of capitalism. And so in that environment, should we even run a computer sale? Should we? Right now seems like if you take coronavirus out, you say right now is tax return season. Right now, people are going to be getting between $1,200 and $2,400 checks from the federal government. In Nebraska right now, more of our people are at work and able to have a livelihood than in most other states in the union. And those people who are working, many of them are working from home on old desktops and laptops that are pieces of junk that are barely getting by. Wow, the time for an ultimate upgrade sale would be right now. Right? Right? I don't know if we should do it. So we're going to talk about the logistics of that, of whether we're going to, and this is like, are we going to launch it next week or not? And that we're going to talk about that in the Aftershock. How can you listen to the Aftershock? Tune in on Facebook. After this program is over, in about 6 minutes after that, I'll start the Aftershock live video. We go for 45 minutes or so, talking about all the stuff that we've seen in the store. I'll tell you about what's going on in Des Moines. We will we'll go over all these things. We'll ask about the ultimate upgrade sale, stuff like that. It's a really fun thing. It's stuff that I can't really say on the air a lot of times, but it's family friendly. We keep it real. But you can tune in for that at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. If you do have trouble locating the live videos, if you click follow, instead of like, you click follow, or including, in addition to like, you click follow. When we do a live broadcast, it will pop up in your feed that we are live, and it makes it a lot easier to find us. All right, welcome. We're going to jump. We're going to talk plainly and simply in a way that everyone can understand right now. And we're going to jump into the phones, 888-250-2091. Yuta, thank you for your call. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Hi, Thor. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Okay. I just had a question. You were talking about Safe Upgrader, and I purchased the certificates online, but I drive the truck over the road, so I'm not going to be home, and I usually power my computer system down while we're gone. Since I have more than one certificate, how do we, when the time comes, how do we do that so that it knows which computer?
Right.
Do we have to log on to something or?
Yeah, great questions, Yuta. And before I get into all that, thank you so much for doing what you do. Every single part that we have, every single webcam that we're creating, everything that we're doing came to us on a truck. And people like you brought that stuff to us. Thank you for doing that right now. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So basically, as far as Safe Upgrade, it works really easily. So when you buy Safe Upgrade, and you're ready to install it, when you get the go-ahead, you can't really install it until it's time because we have to wait for Microsoft to release the update. So we will let you know when it's time. We will call you. We will robocall you. We will email you. We will Facebook Live you. We will Facebook message you. We'll radio show you. We will communicate with every conceivable. Smoke signals will go up from the service centers. We'll let you know when it's time. And when it is time, you'll install Safe Upgrade by logging into your Schrock account. You go to SchrockInnovations.com. You click on Login, just where you went to buy it. And then you download it to your computer, and when you run it on your computer, the program itself will ask you to log into your Schrock account again inside the program. And then it knows how many licenses you have, and it will use a license on that computer. If it fails for whatever reason, it knows it's that computer, and that license is tied to that computer. So if you bought 3 licenses and you have 3 computers, it will associate each license with each computer as you attempt to do it. So there's no need to learn license keys or copy and paste anything. We created, as I call it, a stupid magic simple way of having it just work. Thanks for the call, Yuta. I really appreciate it, and thank you again for what you do. One of the things, we talked a lot about video conferencing today, guys, and people are having trouble finding webcams. I talked in the opening of the show that we have 5 webcams, 4, one is spoken for, coming from the Yun Express out of some underbelly of Asia somewhere. That's why they're taking so long to get here. But they look just like, on the outside, the body of them look exactly the same as the Logitech cam that I'm broadcasting the show with right now. This Logitech cam right now is normally a $99 camera. Right now, this Logitech camera sells on eBay for $300. That's how badly people want to look professional in their video conferences. The cameras that we're getting, the prices are inflated coming out of Asia now because they know. So we're selling them. We kept our margins the same. We didn't hike our prices on it. So basically they're $149, the ones that we're getting. But that's still a lot of money to spend on a webcam, right? So what if we could find a cheaper way to do it? Well, Wise is these cameras that we use for security cameras in the service centers. And I can remote into them on my app, on my phone, and everything else. Well, these cameras are cheap. They're $40 a piece. They are available, because nobody's buying security cameras right now. So Wise said, why don't we write new firmware for our cameras that customers can put on a 32 gig card and install it in the camera and update the firmware. It's kind of a semi-complex process, but you can get it done. That changes these things from security cameras that you can remote into from outside of a network into cameras that you can use for webcams. Just like what I'm doing on the radio right now on Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. And so these cameras, I went ahead and ordered 4 of them last night. I also ordered the special USB A to A cables that you have to make it work. I also ordered the cards we need to upgrade the firmware in the cameras. So my idea here, my thought is we can put all of this together into a package and sell this package at a much more reasonable price of $80, $79.99, which is $10 cheaper than the Logitech camera I'm using right now, but has the same video quality that you're watching right now for a video conference. We will hopefully have those in the service center on Thursday. They'll arrive Thursday. Then we'll, of course, want to test it first before we put it up on the website and make it available for sale. But if we do have them available, they will go up on our accessories section on the website. We'll also post about it on Facebook, and we'll also order a boatload more cameras because we know we're going to go through them. This thing is unfortunately not going away in the next few weeks, and a lot of people are going to be working from home for a long time. So as more and more companies get used to video conferencing, making sure your professional appearance on those webcams is as good as it needs to be is really important. But one of the things that's also important is the sound quality. So while Wise cams are great for video, one of the things we're going to test is how do they do for audio? Can you hear okay? Because, if you sound like this, that's bad. You don't want that. All right, we need to draw a winner of the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. All the callers of the show today, congratulations, Bob. You've got yourself $25. Addie will get a hold of you on Monday to get that certificate out to you. And basically, guys, this week, the things to watch out for. Number 1, we could have a Microsoft Windows update at any time. So make sure you get your copies of Safe Upgrade and you're ready for that. Number 2, if you use Semantic Endpoint, there is an update happening right now. They're converting over to the Broadcom software. Broadcom bought Semantic Endpoint. And so right now, if you open your endpoint, there may be some funkiness in the communications there. Everything is okay. You are still protected. No need to call us. Everything is golden, and it should be resolved by Tuesday. And of course, stay tuned for the Aftershock coming up next on Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. We'll see you next Sunday for another Compute This.
Fueled by Hy-Vee, home of hot deals and hundreds of price declines. This is News Radio 1110